2005 Jaguar S-Type lower control arm replacement. I'm Brian Eslick from How To Automotive. I'm gonna walk you through that process. To get started, we're gonna get this car up in the air. We're gonna, if you're doing this at home, use floor jacks and jack stands, and you want the suspension to hang, so you don't want to jack it or anything from the suspension. So do it from the pinch wheels on the side of the car. And if you got it at a shop, go ahead and lift it up in the air and remove the front wheels. So the arms we're replacing, I'm on the passenger side here, it's more like a radius control arm, so it hooks to the lower. This would actually be considered the lower control arm, and this would be the radius control arm. And so we're replacing both of these on the left and right side. So to do that, first what we're going to do is we're going to remove this lower shield because some of the bolts come from back here. So we need to get this shield off. So go ahead and this one's pretty chewed up and in bad shape, but so go ahead and remove whatever it takes to. So it looks like a couple 8s here. Yours may be different, some 10s, and go ahead and remove the lower shield. Okay, now that we got the shield off, through the subframe here is a little hole, and there's an 18mm bolt in there, nut in there. So what we're going to do is use a long extension, and this something's falling inside the frame here. Okay, so what you're going to need is a 21mm wrench, and you're going to put it on the nut on the outside here. And then you're going to need at least a deep 18mm socket with maybe a 2-inch extension, and you're going to slide it through the frame and put it on the bolt. And then you can use an air ratchet or a ratchet right here, and you're going to loosen the bolt and pull, and you're going to push the bolt through. And you might want to use a magnet once you get the nut off. Get a magnet and pull the bolt all the way through and pull it out. And then after that, you're going to take out the 18mm nut here, and on top is a 15mm. And you can use an impact gun and hold the top with a wrench, whatever, and remove the nut, and then the bolt, you'll push it out to the top. So on these, they have this oblong shape washers, and that wedges up against this little lip here. And what you can do is when you turn and this is slotted, so when you turn it, it adjusts the arm in and out to adjust your caster on your alignment. So when you do this job, you're definitely going to have it aligned afterwards. So before you take yours apart, you may even want to make like a mark, like with a scriber or a piece of tape, whiteout or something like that. Make like a little mark and a line, so when you put it back together, you can kind of line it back up where it went, where you took it apart, and that'll kind of get you in the ballpark, so your alignment's not like crazy far out. So I made a little mark with a black marker on the eccentric cam before I take it off. So now that I got my mark there, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the nuts and bolts. So I also had to rotate this this has an eccentric on this side of the bolt too. I had to rotate it in certain ways to get it to come out, and then I used a screwdriver and I went through the back like this, and I put it in the hole to push the bolt through. And now that it's out here where I can get to it, I can use a magnet or whatever, or grab it with my pliers or whatever, and pull it all the way out. And then you'll drop this arm down, and then now that this bolt's out, you'll swing it outwards. So these are the part numbers for the control arms. I got these from Worldpack. If you guys are interested in that. And so now that we got the arm out, you have to match out. They're different from left to right, so match up the right one, and then then you can reinstall it. Okay, to reinstall it, basically I'm just gonna line it up right here, and stab it through, and then start the bolt through it, and then I'll on this side, once I get that, I'll just push it up, and then I'll kind of look through with my camera and kind of maneuver the arm back and forth until it lines up, and then I'll take my bolt and I'll show you how I'll go to install that so we don't drop the bolt in the frame. So now what I did was I took the bolt and I put a piece of paper in the socket, and I stuffed the bolt in the paper and the socket all together, and that way you can hold it upside down, whatever, move it however you want, and it won't fall off. So now that I got it lined up, what I'm going to do is push it through with one hand, and I'll maneuver this hand, and I'll maneuver the arm around to wherever I need it to line it up, and then I'll push it through. So once I got it pushed through, what I'll do is I'll run my nut down until it's just barely touching and snug. And then what you're going to have to do is on this side, you're going to have to, on the opposite side here, you're going to have to rotate the cam and line it up with the mark that you made previously. And then once you've got the mark lined up with on your cam here, on this side I actually forgot to do it. I took it off before, I just ripped it off and didn't even notice it. So I showed you on the other side how I drew the line on it. So go ahead and line it up to the best, to your mark that you made, and then you can tighten this bolt down. And then once that's tight, you know, lined up where you want it and tight, then you can go ahead and tighten this bolt down, nut and bolt here. So now that you got both the bolts lined up to where you like it, torque this one down to 120 foot-pounds, you torque this one down to 120 foot-pounds, and after that you're going to basically duplicate the same thing for the other side if you're doing it. So before you put the shield back up, you may want to have it aligned, because they're going to have to take the shield back off anyways, or you're going to have to do it if you're doing it yourself. So leave the shield off and then align the car. Like I said, this is just your caster on this vehicle. So once you get your alignment done, that'll complete the job of replacing the lower control arm / radius arm. I'm Brian Eslick from How To Automotive, and I would like to thank you guys for watching my videos and encourage you to subscribe for more valuable videos like this. Thank you again.